is this? At his word a lame man walks, and a silent man can talk, and the broken are restored. Who is this? He can walk on raging seas, and command a storm to cease. At his voice the demons flee. This is Jesus, this is our God.
Hello and good morning. My name is Josh. I'm the intern here at Queen's Road and will be for the next 12 months. And I was asked to do this week's set of devotions. After some thought, some prayer, and some half-started ideas, I was looking over the genealogy of Jesus in Luke. And I was sat there thinking, why does it really matter who Jesus' family is? I mean, he's the Son of God. But then after some more reading and some more thinking, actually, Jesus' biology does matter. His humanity matters. So this week's devotions will be focused on that topic, the humanity of Jesus, how that relates to us, and how it sets models on how to live our lives. I would like to read a passage from Scripture, from Hebrews 2:16-17. For surely it is not angels he helps, but Abraham's descendants. For this reason he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people. Why does it really matter that Jesus was human? Well, as St. Paul writes, it's the only way to fully help humans. Jesus could only be a sacrifice for humanity if he himself was human, if he understood human experience, if he understood death, pain, anxiety, suffering, and loss. Not just from a God perspective, but from a human perspective too. In order to atone and to sacrifice, he had to be perfect, but also equal. The starting point, today, day one, is going to be Jesus dealing with tiredness. And I'm going to be focusing on Luke 8:22-23 and Mark 4:35-38. It's the same story, just told from two different perspectives, two different authors. Luke first. One day, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side of the lake." So they got into a boat, set out, and as they sailed, he fell asleep. And in Mark 4, that day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along, just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. When Samuel gave his sermon on Elijah, on rest and how God encourages us to rest, it reminded me of this very short part of the story when Jesus stills the storm. When looking at this story, it shows the power, the divinity of Jesus. I mean, he was able to still a force of nature. But it also perfectly captures his humanity when he sleeps. He wasn't like a McDonald's, open for business 24/7, working all the time. He rested because he was human. Before Jesus stills the storm in Mark and Luke, he was preaching and teaching to large crowds. He was doing tiring work. So it's no surprise that he took that well-deserved break. Like so much of his life, I believe that Jesus is setting us an example of how to live. Just like us, Jesus worked. He put in effort, burnt calories, spent energy. He used his energy and he got worn out. And just like us, he grew tired, so he rested. After all, life has a habit of taking its toll. We may not spend our days preaching to crowds in the first century, but many of us have jobs, gardens to tend, meals to cook, children to look after, and difficult questions to grapple with. You know, things that make us tired. Noreen and you and the people who are hosting me can testify that some evenings after particularly long days at work or helping out in the gardens, I look more like a zombie than a human being. We were made to work, work tires us, and that's good, provided that we have that rest. In Jesus' humanity, we have a model of what to do when we are tired. It doesn't have to be on a boat. You don't have to be surrounded by your friends every time you take a nap. But rest. It's good for us to rest. It keeps us from being burnt out. If Jesus needed sleep when he was tired, well, that's good enough for me as well.
Who is this? At his word a lame man walks, and a silent man can talk, and the broken are restored. Who is this? He can walk on raging seas, and command a storm to cease. At his voice the demons flee. This is Jesus. This is our God, working wonders and miracles. This is the Savior, the Son who was slain and rose again in the greatest of miracles. By this miracle, we are saved. By this miracle, we are saved.